Hey y'all, it's Leah. This is my review to One Piece chapter 1000. I already posted my reaction to the chapter, so check that out if you want to see my first reaction and first impressions to the chapter. I also made a video congratulating Oda on this huge milestone, so go check that out as well. But if you're interested in my review, then sit back, relax, grab your snacks, and without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so this chapter is called Straw Hat Luffy, and to be honest, this is the most fitting title for chapter 1000, in my opinion. It's simple, to the point, and puts spotlight on the most important person in this entire series, Monkey D. Luffy. We start off the chapter with the man himself as he approaches the staircase that leads to the rooftop. It was heartwarming seeing Luffy acknowledging the main strength and loyalty, especially seeing Shishi lying crying at the end. So it was definitely a touching moment mixed in with Luffy's silly little gag. I noticed this while rereading the chapter, but it looks like Queen's neck has some sort of mechanical extended ability, which is interesting, but I shouldn't be all that surprised since he's literally a mad scientist. So I wonder how he's going to use that to his advantage. Marco surprised me at first when he had both King and Queen in chokeholds. But come on, this is the former 1st Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, so should I be too surprised he can hold his own against Kaido's top commanders? But besides that, Marco was really impressive this chapter, and I wonder if he's going to take on both King and Queen as his big fight, which would be pretty badass for him if that's the case. I love the moment where Yamato gave Momo Odin's journal. It was pretty wholesome, and seeing Momo crying had me a pinch away from bawling. This moment reminds me when Shanks gave his hat to Luffy. Sort of like how Shanks gave a little boy a treasure he highly regards, Yamato does the same thing this chapter. I don't think Oda intended to make it a parallel, but I couldn't help but make that connection. Now that Momo has his father's journal, I wonder how he's going to utilize all the information contained in it. I also wonder if this is going to bring him closure in regards to his late father and how he will grow as a character after reading it. So I never thought I would say this one day, but I'm really excited to see how Momo's character shapes up to become after he reads his father's journal. Yamato mentions that someone protected the journal from the burning castle, so I wonder if this is something that's going to be revealed later on. Probably not, but I feel like Oda wouldn't have made Yamato say that if it didn't have some importance. Yamato also mentions that Oden predicted that in 20 years, a group of young and powerful pirates will arrive in the New World, which is now. And you can say that the fact that Oden coincidentally predicting that makes it some sort of lore and plot convenience, but it makes me wonder if he has some sort of inherited ability to see into the future. We know that the Kozuki family ancestors were the ones who created the poneglyphs and are amazing craftsmen, but I wonder if they might have the ability to see into the future as well. This interaction between Yamato and Ace was definitely one of the highlights for me in this chapter. Ace was the first supporter of Luffy, so it warms my heart seeing him get so defensive over him and refusing to let anyone downplay his dream. And when he speaks about Sabo, remember that Ace didn't know that Sabo was alive all along? So when he references Sabo, it's of his memories of him as a kid. And as an Ace fangirl, I can confidently say that Ace came a long way from how he was as a kid, so it was nice hearing him talk about Luffy and openly showing how much he means to him. This obviously caused an emotional reaction out of Yamato, causing them to pull out the journal and begin to cry, telling Ace that they will never make fun of Luffy's dream. If y'all saw my reaction, seeing Yamato's face made me cry and made me highly emotional for the rest of the chapter. Such an emotional moment for Yamato, and I have to commend Oda for drawing Yamato so beautifully in that panel. Now what's interesting is that Yamato mentions to Ace that a great man said the same thing, and I understand why Oda didn't make Yamato outright say Gold D. Roger, because if Yamato would have told Ace about his father and his adventures with Odin, that probably would have led Ace to either beginning to take a liking to his father or completely shut out Yamato due to his hatred for him. But it does seem a bit forced that Ace didn't ask who this figure was, because even though Ace isn't the type of guy to sweat over every little detail, just like Luffy, but just based on human curiosity, it seems a bit weird that he didn't ask who this big figure was. But it's cool because I feel like if Oda did write it to where Ace knew that his father said with Odin and he was the big figure Yamato was talking about, that probably would have caused some plot holes or inconsistencies with Ace's character from the Marineford arc. So I get why Oda sort of tiptoed around the subject, but I just wish that Yamato told Ace the good things about his father from Odin's journal so that Ace could have possibly had a change of heart about him. So now we know that Yamato knows how exactly Ace died and his connections to Roger and Luffy. And you can tell that Yamato has been waiting for a person like Luffy to come and fit the description of the person Oda predicted in his journal. So this is just some great One Piece lore and story connections that I love seeing. We get a legendary double spread of the top supernovas having a stare down with Big Mom and Kaido. This moment was absolutely awesome, but I wish my boy Beppo was standing with Law so that he wouldn't be so alone on that rock. But I get that Oda only wanted the supernovas to be in the shot, so it's cool. I love how Oda kept consistency with Luffy's character and not only made him fearless when walking towards Big Mom and Kaido, but had him walk past them casually to check on Kiyomon. Stuff like that just makes me love Luffy 100 times more than I do now. Really great character writing for Luffy. Seeing the Scabbards and Kiyomon on the floor beaten down and bleeding was really tough to see, and Kiyomon crying and telling Luffy how he and the Scabbards felt Odin was really heartbreaking. And I think this could be the true tragedy of Act 3 because the Scabbards were so determined to bring honor to Odin's late name and open the borders of Wano, and they sadly couldn't, and that to me is the true tragedy of this act. But Law transported them to a safer place, so hopefully they get their wounds treated before they die. And I honestly don't expect any of them to die since, Oda. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they all live by the end of this arc. Even though I personally think a few of them should die so that can add some tragic intensity to his raid. But this is Oda we're talking about, so I highly doubt that any of them will die. But it's cool. Luffy delivering the first blow to Kaido was the icing on the cake to this amazing chapter. Him dodging Kaido's attack, him thinking of all the people he witnessed suffer under Kaido's hand, and seeing Kaido finally get rocked, get it, was just so damn fantastic, man. And that whole double spread was so emotional and powerful, and just good storytelling at its finest. I assume this Red Rock move is a more advanced version of Red Hawk, so hopefully next chapter or sometime during this arc, this move gets explained. But this move looks pretty darn cool, and I cannot wait for Toei to animate it. Luffy saying, end quote, "I am Monkey D. Luffy, and I am the man who will surpass you to be king of the pirates," was just the perfect last panel for this milestone, and a golden seal that he will indeed achieve his dreams, no matter what trials or tribulations he goes through from this point on. Luffy is just an amazing character, and this chapter reminded me just why I love him so much. Overall, this chapter was beautiful, incredible, and powerful. It made me cry, get hype, and remind me just why I'm so invested into this freaking series. Oda did an amazing execution of this milestone of a chapter. I know a lot of people will feel disappointed or underwhelmed about this chapter, but I'm going to make a whole separate video sort of explaining why this story direction was needed for chapter 1000, so look out for that later this week. But yeah, let me know how you felt about this chapter. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or do you have mixed feelings about it? Also, let me know your favorite moment from this chapter and your predictions for chapter 1001. Man, that's kind of weird to say. If you enjoyed this video, then it'd be really cool if you no like that like button, because you really help your girl out. Please subscribe for more One Piece related videos in the future. Hit that bell notification so you can always be notified whenever I post. Links to my socials and Discord are in the description box below. Please stay safe out there, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!